Hey, how are you? It's Colleen Coles, and today my video is about how it can be so hard to really trust yourself even though you know you want to. You might really have an inkling of what you want to do and then not really go after it. Or you might have an idea about what you want your relationship to look like, how you want it to feel, that it's stable, but it doesn't seem to manifest. Why is that? Why is it that we have such a hard time trusting ourselves or even trusting our intuition and knowing what we really want? Well, that's what we're going to cover today in this video, and I'm so excited because I'm going to be sharing my own transformational story and how you can get over the blocks that are actually keeping you stuck from trusting your own intuition, the universe, and yourself. So if you're here live or you're watching the replay, give me a little thumbs up and put your name in the comments and I'll be sure to say hello. So Brandy is here. Hello, hello, hello. All right, Nicole Merrill's here. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, great. So let me know if this is you. You might feel like you're angry. And you feel that anger and you're like, oh my God, like what's wrong with me, right? Or for example, you might be driving to work and have the F word just like on your lips as you're parking the car, right? You're just like, like doing that F word, and you feel like so much shame and so much guilt is there because all the other people at your work are happy. Why aren't you better at your work? Why don't you like it? Why are you so different? And you might even feel guilty too about feeling like you should be able to trust the universe. You want to open up so badly. You want your own inner self and that meaningful, rock hard, confident person to come out, and yet it doesn't. So I was walking just today, okay, so how this keeps happening and how we can get over it. I was walking today up my little hill where there's some horses, and I remember thinking like, oh, I want to go and pet the horses, but it's a pretty long walk and I only had a certain amount of time. And as I kept walking, I was about to go up the hill and I felt this kind of intensity come over my body, like a kind of anxiousness. And at first I was like, what is that? Oh wait, that couldn't be intuition because intuition's good, right? And I really want to trust that, so I'm going to keep going. But as I kept walking, that anxiety kept getting kind of bigger and bigger and bigger. And I asked my brain, should I go back? What should I do? And my brain said, no, keep going. But as I kept walking, I felt more and more anxious until finally I turned around. And there was a lot of hesitation in me because I thought, oh my gosh, well, if I turn around, I'm missing out on this great opportunity. I'm not going for my goal. It's not good to feel anxious. It's not okay to feel anxious. My intuition wouldn't be talking to me in a negative feeling. But guess what happened? As I went and turned around and walked down the hill, I started to feel more light, I started to feel more at peace, and I started connecting more into my body rather than my mind. And so in that moment, I remembered that our intuition really isn't in our head, and it doesn't have to always feel good. In fact, our intuition can really be through our negative feelings like anger or anxiety, or even some type of sensation in the body, because the truth is our intuition lives in our body and not in our mind. And so how does this relate to you? Well, the first thing I wanted to share is how, if you feel shame around these negative feelings, don't, because they are actually part of your intuitive guidance system telling you what you want and what's best for you. Because in my story, as I came back down the hill, I realized it was way later than I thought. And if I had kept going almost double the length, I would have been all off track for the day. So sometimes intuition can go off of what is logical and also not just feel good. And it's hard sometimes to really follow what we want or even know what we want. Put your comment in the comment chat box and say, yes, that's me, or I totally get it. When you really want to trust the universe, you really want to not have this trepidation anymore. You don't want to feel vulnerable in the sense of maybe trusting others more than yourself, or thinking that there's parts of you that aren't incorporated from the shadow side. There's parts of you that, you know, you feel shame around still. And that there's even shame around not trusting yourself or God or higher power, because you're a spiritual person, you want to, and yet it's not there. Okay, so I want to go into why that is. All right, so you're probably someone who really strives to do God's will, or whatever that is for you, you know, trusting yourself and ready to live out your best life ever, whether it's in your relationships, in your purpose and career, or just being able to express and be open in yourself in the world. And I want to tell you why it's so hard sometimes to really feel like we can trust ourselves. Why it's so hard to feel like we just want to be confident, but we can't, okay? And the reason is, as much as we want to give ourselves that self-love, that confidence, there's actually literal blocks of energy in the way. And so when we remove those energy blocks, which is something that I help you do, you can actually feel clear to trust yourself, trust your intuition, and trust your higher power leading the way for you. And what does that do for you? Total clarity, even though you might slip up sometimes, but there's clarity, there's direction, there's confidence, there's I don't give a fuck, okay? And so that's what can happen when you remember there doesn't have to be the shame when you let go of those blocks that is causing the shutting off. Okay, so I want to share how this happened for me and how I really uncovered what those blocks were and how I can really help you or anyone watching do the same. Recently, I was at a workshop, and it was a dance workshop. It was a dance and money 5 rhythms workshop where you just move your body and let it come out. And at one point, we were really letting the negative fear thoughts come out. We were letting them dance out of our body. And the instructor had us pause, and he had us kind of go into a meditative state. And he asked us, what is the one thing that you need to let go of to go to your next level? And as I sat there, I remember the thought that came through was the fear of trusting. The fear of trusting. And we started getting back onto the dance floor, and I thought that was so interesting. Like, why would anybody be afraid to trust, right? Why would anybody be afraid to shine and be positive? And yet on the dance floor, I noticed that I was having a hard time trusting my body, trusting myself to move in any way I wanted, trusting myself to really go for it and have this kind of personal power, this strength within me. Because guess what? I was afraid of making other people feel bad. Let me know if you can relate. I felt like, oh, maybe I'll be too big, too confident, too pretty, too whatever. And so to take care of other people, I shut myself down. And that's such a common problem or block that we tend to have, where we're not afraid of the guilt, we're actually afraid of the shining. Okay, that's one of the bigger blocks. But as I was on the dance floor, I started to notice this, and the way it felt in my body was like a pressure in my heart. Hey, Lisa. She said, I don't normally like coaches. You totally rock. Love, love, love you. Thank you so much. Okay, so back. So we're on the dance floor, right? And I'm realizing that this block is kind of showing itself in this feeling like it's an egg, like this big egg football, putting pressure on my heart. Like anytime somebody who I felt I had to protect and not be as good as I thought I could, that pressure would come into my body. And finally, the instructor said, pick up and take out the energy that's holding you back. And I took that energy as if it was a huge ball, and I just took it out of my hands, and it was this big egg. And as I held it, it almost felt heavy in my body, but I don't know if that's for everybody. I know my intuitive gifts are one that can hold and feel physical energy in myself and in other people. But as I was holding that, it was like, whew, like heavy. And guess what? I realized I didn't want to let it go all the way. I was afraid to let that go. And the reason, as I held this egg of mistrust and of fear of trusting in my hands, I saw in the energy the face of my father. And in that egg, I saw his face and the face of his parents and the face of his parents, seeing that they never had the trust, that it wasn't safe to trust. And so just like he did for his parents by taking on that responsibility to fit in through not trusting, I noticed I didn't want to let that egg go. I had such a hard time dropping it and letting it go, because that would mean I would lose the lineage of my father. I would lose the connection. And I realized that in that moment, my little girl was trying to protect him. That's why we do these things, guys. That's why we do these things as little kids. We take on the wounds of our parents because we're still infinite beings, remembering that, but we're in little bodies, and we take it on to heal. We take it on to heal our parents and our loved ones. But when we grow older, we forget, we don't know that, and so it lives in our body and it keeps manifesting out as repeated problems in relationships with people that just don't stick around, with repeated problems around your purpose and feeling like you just can't figure out what you really want to do. And this is why these are the blocks in our heart, in our body. Thoughts and energy live in the cells, live in the body. And so finally, as I realized I could let that go and still hold on to my father in a new way, in a new light, I shifted that energy, I let the egg go, and all of a sudden within my body, a whole new energy was there. It was as if, and I still can feel it, this personal power. It was like I could see it on the energy, personal power, and it was something big and bright and pink outside of my heart. And it was leading me. And anytime I kept dancing and I felt like I had to shy away, I remembered that personal power and realized I was helping more people through giving my gifts. I was helping more people from being my confident self and realizing they're separate from me. I don't have to be codependent, and neither do you. You don't have to take care of anybody anymore through your pain or through connecting to their sorrow. And so what I want to share today with you is how you can transform that as well. You can transform that energy in your body that is keeping you stuck from really feeling your truest power, really connecting you to your confidence and to your clarity and to all the love that you have and are ready to share. But it feels hard. It feels hard to open up. It feels hard to be your true self. I get it. And what you need to do in order to access that power is shed the blocks by kind of owning that shadow side and also knowing it probably isn't coming from you. It's probably from somebody else that you acquired it from. And because of that, you can let it go. All right. So what I want to just share with you is that I want to help you do that. I want to help you shed that energy and get those blocks out, because that's something that is one of my intuitive gifts, is to be able to feel into somebody's body and really clear out the energy blocks that are in the way from you feeling your highest confident self. You no longer have to be cussing as you go to work. You can actually start on the process of doing something that you love and live out that vision. And in the program that I have, that's exactly what I help you do. I help you get clear on what you want, what the vision is, and you are actually living it out or on the steps to it, on the path by the end of the program, guaranteed. So it's easy when you can let go of those blocks, because the truth is you're already whole and complete exactly as you are right now. You already have the light. There's things on top, boop, boop, that can just be removed and let go so that you can shine as your most radiant, radiant self. So I hope this is helpful. These habits don't come from us, and we do it because we take it on because we want to heal other people. But we don't have to do that, and it's actually something you no longer need to help other people. You're going to help more people by letting those blocks go. And those blocks are what are keeping you in patterns that you no longer want, and you can't figure out why. You can drop the shame around feeling guilty that you don't trust the universe as much. You can drop the shame about feeling guilty that you don't trust yourself or know what you want and you're already maybe 30 years old, or that you're still alone without a great relationship when you thought you'd have it figured out by now. You can drop it because the things in your way aren't even from you, okay? And that's what I want to help you do, is actually literally get rid of those things so you can live your most radiant life. Somebody that I helped working with, he was so mad with his family. He moved all across the country just so that he could be away from them and figure out his stuff. But the way that his life was looking was he was broke, he was totally estranged, and he felt so much anger around his father and that he did these things to him and the father wasn't recognizing it. And we worked together as a coaching relationship. And as we were working, we realized what the core wound was that was keeping those blocks in place. And the truth was that he kept blaming and wanting the other person, his father, to forgive him, to apologize. And with my gift, I saw what is the action that needs to be taken. And it was like, wait, this isn't something that you need to have his forgiveness about. Who do you really need to forgive? He's like, I don't know. And I said, you need to forgive yourself for not being able to help more of that situation and protect your own self and protect your mom, who you were trying so hard to protect. And with that, he had this massive breakthrough, crying. We did the process that I teach, cleared it up, and not, kid you not, only within a couple months, he went all the way across the world again to visit his family. He sat down with his dad, but it wasn't a relationship of anger. It was this relaxed, receptive energy. And not only that, but he skyrocketed in his career. He's now an entrepreneur. He also has a really wonderful love life with a woman who he met abroad. And that's what's possible when we do this big work. He can still go back because it's shed, it's cleared. And other stuff comes up, but you can have better problems. You can have better problems. So that's totally what's possible. People have said, like, this is the most powerful work they've done, and they've done so much personal development stuff, which I know you have too. So that's what I'm offering this for, and it's a newer program, and so I'm offering it at a reduced rate, just for a limited time though. And so I want to get you on the phone with me if this is something you're ready to clear, if you're ready to feel confident, if you're ready to break these crappy habits, repeat. You know, if you're ready to just shine. Like the birds in the sky, they feel taken care of, they feel happy. That's available for you too. Okay, so what I want you to do is private message me, and we will set up a time to chat. I will send you my application to see if you're a great fit for this program and can be one of the people who claim the spot. And let's get rolling, because this confidence is available for you. It's not your fault that you have these blocks, and let's get them out of the way. So we have Nicole, Lisa, Nicole, Brandy, and Trevel on. Thanks for being here live, and thanks for everyone who's watching the replay, because the truth is you have meaningful work to do in the world and a meaningful life to live. That's gonna affect everyone else and you too. And we don't want any more time slipping away. So private message me now so we can get you going and see if this is a good fit for you, okay? Lots of love, and talk to you soon.